This is Hino's Sport, bringing you that heat and that far. We keeping the foot on the what? On the Knicks. We keeping the foot on the what? On the Knicks. And like the Tibetan mastiff that I am, I'm applying what? Unlimited pressure. Because pressure does what? It bursts his pipes. Now let's talk about it, man. See, this right here got Hino's Sport asking an underlying question and an underlying truth. And what is that? Okay, let's delve into it, man. Because we got to break this shit down at its most truest and its most properest levels. And what's the levels here that we got to break down, y'all? It's the levels and the gears, which is as simple as this. Jermall Charlo. This is what I try to tell boxing fans, though. They got a double standard that's associated with boxing. And a prediction, King Strike. And a prediction, King Strike. Who told you guys about the double standard that's associated with boxing? Who told you guys about how boxing in of itself is bullshit and fuck shit in a lot of ways? So Jermall Charlo has to supposedly do heavyweight lifting with David Benavidez, who Jermall Charlo is not ducking, by the way. He's going to beat the shit out of his ass, by the way. But when we sit here and we look at fucking Canelo Alvarez, the cinnamon dust over horchata of a fucking Alvarez, Canelo Alvarez is a motherfucker that's sitting here and he's telling you out of his own rabbit ass mouth that he could do catch weights. Now, I want you guys to look at the background here, because this is the justification that cinnamon dust horchata of an Alvarez of fanboys do. They tell you that Canelo is Canelo. The fuck does that mean? You Rudy Poo and you fucking plum brain. What the fuck does that mean? You classic dope and fucking troglodyte. What the fuck does that mean? You ultra fanboy with the ultra fanboy rhetorics. How is Canelo just Canelo? The fuck does that even mean? What does that even? I don't get the rationale behind that. I don't get the understanding behind that. I don't even get what that means on the highest levels, the highest degrees, the highest orders. So Canelo can do catch weights. He did it with fucking Amir Khan. He did it with Rocky Fielding. He did this shit, and I'm saying Rocky Fielding. He did this shit with Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. I mean, Canelo has done this shit so many fucking times, dog. And we're going to omit Rocky Fielding because he fought his ass at, what is it, super middleweight, 168. He was the weakest fucking link, and that's how he got the weak fucking link of the regular belt of 168. Canelo has fought catch weights, man. So many fucking catch weights, dog. Canelo has done rehydration clauses. Canelo has sat here and fought fighters that were not at their best. Canelo has gotten boxing gifting decisions. Canelo has sat here and fought cherry pickers and wounded animals. But he's Canelo's Canelo. This is what I'm talking about, dog. Jermall Charlo calls out David Benavidez. David Benavidez, instead of him being smart, he's using the Hino's Sport mantra the wrong way of damn near unlimited pressure. And he's applying keep the foot on the next. All in the wrong iteration, because you're doing this with Jermall Charlo when you actually should be fucking doing this and directing this attention to Canelo Alvarez. Canelo's the full-fledged 168 pounder. He told you he can do 160, 168, 175. Jermall's never fought at 168. See, Hino's Sport has to talk about this shit because he has to call a spade a spade. He has to keep it real. He has to keep it a buck, and he has to keep it 100. Jermall Charlo never fought at 168. So what's wrong with Jermall Charlo saying COVID test and fucking catch weight? He has the right to do that. Do you realize the catch weight puts both fighters at a disadvantage? Because both fighters don't fight at a fucking catch weight. You Rudy Poo and you fucking plum brain. You classic dope and you fucking troglodyte. You ultra fanboy with the fucking ultra fanboy rhetorics. It puts both of them at a fucking disadvantage. It puts Jermall Charlo at a disadvantage, but it also puts David Benavidez at a disadvantage. This is the fair way to make this fight happen. A guy that's never fought at his weight class. Don't try to sit here and say David Benavidez, he need to go up to 168. Bullshit and fuck shit. He never fought at 168. You need to take your ass to a catch weight. He needs to take his ass to a catch weight, and you make the fucking fight happen. That's the cold-hearted. That's the unadulterated. That's the cutthroat true teller fashion. When fight fans sit here and say, well, catch weight, that's pushy shit. It's because they want to see the Charlos lose, man. This is what it boils down to, though. We got to call a spade a spade. We got to keep it real. We got to keep it a buck. We got to keep it 100. They want to see the Charlos lose so bad. So they don't care even if the Charlos are at a disadvantage. But Cinammon Horchata, Canelo Alvarez. This motherfucker right here can have catch weights. This motherfucker right here can have other fighters at a disadvantage. But at the same time, he gets to basically straddle the fence. He gets to do whatever the fuck he wants to do. This is what we're talking about when we say that boxing doesn't go on the same parameter. This is why the sport is in the gutter, man. Because of shit like this. Fight fans like this. Shit let you see in the background that's like this, man. When it's all said and done, Canelo Alvarez is what he is. He's a fraud of a boxer. Jermall Charlo is pushing for greatness personification. And last time he knows the sport checked, greatness personification can only be hindered. The motherfucker can't be stopped. So now you want to get on a fighter that's pushing for greatness personification, but then at the same time, a fighter that's pushing for greatness mimication in Canelo Alvarez, he gets a pass. You see what I'm talking about? Don't take my word for it. Look at the fucking background. Canelo is Canelo. What the fuck does that even mean? These fight fans are a fundamental reason of why the sport is shit, man. Why the sport is in the fucking gutter. When Jermall Charlo called out David Benavidez, he was doing Canelo Alvarez's dirty work. Because Canelo Alvarez can't do his own fucking dirty work. That's the cold-hearted. That's the unadulterated. That's the cutthroat truth teller fashion. Jermall Charlo ain't afraid of no damn David Benavidez. But if they both gonna fight, the shit need to be fair. Both of these motherfuckers need to be at a disadvantage. Both of them need to be COVID tested. What's not cold-hearted about that? What's not unadulterated about that? And what's not the cutthroat truth teller fashion that's associated with that? I keep the foot on the what? On the Hicks. I keep the foot on the what? On the Hicks. This is He Knows the Sport. Checking out.